Hello guys, welcome to another video. Today I am doing day 2 of the 100 Day project, and I'm planning on doing these mixed media canvases. So I'm just showing quickly the supplies that I plan on using. A lot of Tim Holtz stuff there. I am going to cover these 5x7 canvases with some Tim Holtz tissue paper, using the Tim Holtz collage medium paste or glue, and I'm just going to wrap my canvas around the back, sorry, and I'm just trimming down the excess and making little corners. I just like how this looks, and I find that the project just looks cleaner. So I'm just gluing all that down, making sure it's nice and flush, like so. And magic, we have 2 done. So I pulled out some Dylusions paints that I'm going to use for my background, using this orange one first, and just applying it all over the canvas. The plan was to use a yellow paint for this one, but when I opened the tub I realized it is rock hard, and I'm sorry it is off camera there, so I do go with this green one. I am still learning to make sure that I'm in the camera frame when I am doing my projects. So I'm just adding the green paint to this one. I'm then going to go in with a stencil, and I'm not sure, this might be a Kaisercraft stencil, I'm unsure. I'm just going in with the green paint over the stencil. I end up ditching this project, well, this particular canvas, towards the end because I don't know, I didn't like how it turned out in the end, this one. But I might keep it and see if I can do a project with it later on. Some of the paint sort of seeped through and it was just chunky in some areas. So now I'm just going in with the second one, and this is a delusional stencil, and I love the effect that this one gave. I'm going in with some light orange paint to do the same thing over the stencil. This one turned out really cool. I really liked these 2 color combos together. It did sort of have a bit more orange on the edges, as the stencil didn't quite fully fit the full sideways of the canvas, but that's okay. It still turned out pretty nifty. So there we are, all finished. I'm going in with some Tim Holtz stamps to put some stamping in the background. Just giving it a quick dry. Delusionals dry pretty quick, but some of the chunkier spots on the green were still wet. So no rhyme or reason, I'm just randomly stamping on that one because I wasn't sure, I wasn't liking it. This one I wanted to create a grassy background, so I kind of knew where I needed to place the stamp to give me sort of like a grassy hill. And I'm using the archival ink because it is waterproof. However, I don't really like it because it does stain my stamps. I'm pulling out these Tim Holtz flowers to add as my background, and the plan was to stamp them and then use what I thought was the coordinating die cuts to cut them out, but as you'll see in a bit, that is not the case. So I'm just going on and stamping using my Tim Holtz stamp platform, and I just had to flip the lid so that I could use it for the rubber stamp side. And I love this platform. It has made me stamp more because I can go over it many times if I need to. I'm not the world's best stamper. Just cleaning it up and adding some second lot of flowers. I'm so glad that I checked the die cuts before I went and stamped all of them, because I did end up wasting time on this project, but I left it in so everyone could see that we're not always perfect crafters. I thought because I brought them as a bundle, these were to cut the stamps out, but this is obviously not true. So I abandoned the stamp images and I got some black cardstock and cut and die cutted them all out, and I think there's 8 in it, and I used, no, sorry, 7 in the dies, and I used all 7. So I'm just adding a bit of a border with some blue because I know I wanted to add some blue colouring into my stamps. Going in with some mist in the Delusional Black, Marble, and the Kaisercraft Yellow. The yellow doesn't stand out too well, but the black does. giving it a dry, and then just layering my flowers and stems where I want them. I tried to do a mix of big ones at the back and then the small ones in the front. I was trying to create not so much a jungle, but sort of a garden sort of theme. I was going to use my Tombow to glue it all down, but then realized, well, that's not going to work. So I just pulled out the Tim Holtz mixed media collage, and I'm just going to adhere it all down like so. At this point, I did abandon the other canvas as I just did not like how it ended up turning out. However, I might try later on of refiguring out a way to make it work. I think it was the wrong stencil, or maybe it was just that the green was too overpowering against the orange background. So I'm just going to continue gluing all these down like so, and I'm glad this stuff dries clear, as I did put a layer of the glue over top to make sure it was going to stay down really well. So just adding the last few bits now, and the last one. I could probably have added a few more just to give it a bit more of a clutter, but I think that turned out alright. So I'm just going to wipe off all the excess glue and continue on. I'm going to go in with my 3 favorite Crazy Bird stamps. I do love all of the crazy stamps, but the birds, and these 3 in particular, happen to be my favorite. So I'm just going to add these flowers to it, which I don't know where they're from. They were just in a package, but they weren't big enough. So I kind of just abandoned that project. It wasn't going to work. I wanted to make it look like an illusion of the birds in a field of flowers, but that kind of didn't work. So I'm just going back in to stamp out my birds using my stamp platform again, my archival ink. This just does make stamping so much easier. I can never get a good impression the first time, so this allows me to go back in. I know there's heaps on the market, but this one for me was the best price, and it's Tim Holtz. You can't go wrong with that. So I'm just going to stamp my last bird, and I'm using heavy mixed media paper from Tim Holtz. I had planned to watercolor these in, so needed something that was going to handle my water. So now I have my 3 birds done, and I'm just going to clean off my stamps. I'm going in with my ink 10th blocks to color it in, and I've sped this up pretty fast because nobody wants to watch people color in, especially me, because I don't coordinate my colors all that well. However, I wasn't 100% sure if I really liked how I colored these birds in, but I went with it. So I'm going to take out the coordinated dies here and use some washi tape to hold them down while I'm cutting them out. In a little bit, I lose a bit of footage here. I don't know why, but the recording of me gluing my birds to the canvas came up on my video camera that it was corrupt. So just before I go to cut these out, it will come up all done and finished, but unfortunately I don't know what happened. So I'm just going to cut these out like so, and I just love these coordinating dies. It just makes the fussy cutting so much easier because I don't like doing it. And I'm going in with this Dylusional word phrases, and I'm going to add that. It's sort of like a title. So basically, a little bit of footage that went missing. It was just me gluing down the birds, and I mucked up that one, so I'm restamping it. Just going in with some crayon. Then I thought no, because it didn't work when I tried to do it before. So I'm just going in with the Tim Holtz Distress ink in Right Pommerson to colour it in. Then I'm just going to quickly fussy cut it out, and that's pretty much my done finished project. So there's my day 2 of the 100 project done. I bashed out some more stash. I've done something that isn't a layout, which is a big effort for me because I'm usually more of a layout type of person, because I don't have a lot of room to store my projects. Like, I want to be able to display them, but I don't have a lot of display areas. So I'm just going to go in with that collage glue again and just glue it down, and that pretty much will sums my project up. So guys, thanks for watching. Bye for now.